Okay guys, thank you for joining me for this reading, which is my Queen of Heaven spread, which may not be used or adapted without my permission. Yeah, let me explain what it's about. This is for the Divine Masculine. So here we have where the Divine Masculine has been, where he is right now, what the likely outcome is. Advice, how he's feeling towards the relationship, what he'd like to say to his divine counterpart, challenges, and what he's been doing well. And then here we have the underlying energies. I'll explain a little bit about that in a moment, because this is what happened. Another card popped out. This was the card at the bottom of the deck. Another card popped out, and then the cards mysteriously, as I was laying these out, the cards mysteriously moved like this, revealing what was underneath. So I'll come to that in a moment. Let's begin now for the Divine Masculine with where he has been. And we've got the Page of Pentacles here in reverse. And here this signifies a spot of bad news. Some bad news that the Divine Masculine has received. It probably wasn't to do with him. I know a lot of Divine Masculines have had some issues with the health of their mums at the moment, recently. If that's the case, it's definitely referring to that. If not, it's something else that could be work related. But that's what's happened. So he's received some bad news. It could be something completely different as well. It could be something to do with the Divine Feminine. Maybe things, you know, if you got back together, or if you were talking again, maybe there's been a little setback with regards to that, or a perceived setback on his side of things, or just it could just be general mental kind of worry. But it's a piece of news or something that's happened that he's interpreted to have a negative kind of meaning. So that's that. And bearing in mind, because this is a twin flame love reading, it's whatever it is, it's going to have an impact on the relationship. Where he is right now, we've got the right way up, we've got the Hierophant. And in terms of that, it is a card of kind of, for me and for this reading, it's definitely a card of marriage, a card of union, especially because it's so well balanced. Everything here, there's so much symmetry. And he's holding, my eyes were also drawn to his fingers here. He's holding up two fingers like that. It's like a mudra. I don't know what the mudra could mean, but I was told today, or I felt today, it's very much pointing to the fact that there's two fingers, so two people, two polarities of the same energy. It's a twin flame. It's a relationship that he's thinking of in a very traditional kind of way, or wanting it to go in a very traditional kind of way. And that signifies marriage with where it is right now. And he wants that partnership more and more and more. And he wants it with the divine counterpart as well. The likely outcome, two cards popped out. So what I got with the Six of Pentacles was that he wants to be the one in the giving role. He wants to be more of a giver. And he wants to kind of essentially kind of shower you with kind of, you know, divine counterpart, the divine feminine, with kind of the material things in life, like the comforts, luxuries, you know, and the stuff that you really, really need. You know, these two people right here, they don't even have like basic necessities, which is why they're so thankful. And he wants you to be able to give to you, and he wants you to be able to receive, and kind of redress the balance a little bit, maybe making up for past actions, past hurts. It would really mean a lot to him if he was able to kind of right those wrongs. And then Queen of Cups came upside down, and weirdly enough, what I got with that today, and bearing in mind this is an intuitive reading, again was referring to Divine Masculine's mum, and she may or may not have, you know, want him to put the brakes on a little bit. He might be kind of like willing to, you know, wanting to go into, you know, all guns blazing, into kind of, you know, this something with you, with the divine feminine, and she might be the one that kind of not out of any kind of malice necessarily, but just out of concern for him. She might want to say like, hey, maybe you should like take a step back. Are you sure you really want to do that? you know, what could happen kind of thing. But there's a little bit of restriction. So this is what, or it could be his own emotions, it could be his own fears. What he wants to do is to really do that, and something is going to kind of want to rein him in a little bit. On the converse, kind of on the flip side of that, conversely, is he might also want to overcompensate with this flood of emotion that's coming from a state of neediness. Like, I'm drawn to kind of all the riches that she's on, but she's upside down and they're all going to fall out. And there is a bit of it, like, he wants there to be balance, but there might be something there that's kind of going to block that a little bit, or knock the balance a little bit too much the other way. So that's something that Divine Masculines, you need to be wary of. Just focus on what my advice with regards to this, I'm drawn to say, like, just bear in mind, like, you're the one holding the scales, so you do what your heart is telling you to do. So here we have the advice card again, a bit more advice, and what this Nine of Cups is signifying here, because he's reversed, I'm also drawn to another kind of twin flame infinity sign, not just the one around his heart. It's a card of truth, and the advice is Divine Masculine. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say to the Divine Feminine, whatever feels you're feeling, feel them. All of these cups that are lined up nicely in a row, they're all upside down at the moment, and that's the advice. The advice is let the emotions kind of flow freely. Like, he's got his arms crossed over his heart, but you need to open your heart. That's what I'm getting. You need to open your heart. If you've got your legs crossed, you can't really tell. I can't really tell with him. It looks like he's got his legs crossed actually from this angle with the card. If that's the case, like, uncross your legs as well. Like, let the energies kind of really flow through into the physical reality, because the physical reality is you know, what your feet are standing on. So, you know, let your foundation be firm and stand confidently with, you know, this is always a good card, don't get me wrong. The Nine of Cups is always a nice card, so whatever you want there, you've already got it. Like, believe that you've got it, act like you've got it, and enjoy it, is essentially what I'm being drawn to say to you. You know, you've got everything you need. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. You've just got to own it. So whatever you want, whatever you, and really be honest with what you want as well. Explore those feelings, because it's going to be okay, basically. Very nice energy I'm getting from that card. Let's move on to how you're feeling towards the relationship right now. It doesn't seem like that is what you have. That is indeed what you have. You've got your Nine of Cups. You've got what you want. It's right there before you, but you're feeling really heartbroken, maybe because of this perceived bad news. You're feeling, yeah, you're not going to get what you want. You know, all the old fears have come back. And with this Three of Swords, the Divine Masculine is feeling very bound, almost, like, not by anything physical, but emotionally, mentally, more than anything. You're feeling very bound. You're feeling like you don't know how to move. You don't have the knowledge of how to move forward correctly, or in the way that you want to move forward. But that's an illusion. The advice card is what you need to go to, which is believe that you have it, own it, you've got it already, know it, and proceed with confidence and stability. So in terms of what the Divine Masculine wants to say to the Divine Feminine, it's all good stuff. And it's very, you know, the Divine Masculine knows that this is a massively transformative period, and things are happening very fast, and he wants you to know, you know, that is the case. Expect messages, expect things to don't expect, you know, very specifically. I mean, just know that it's going to happen, and expect and accept it, and accept whatever, however it does, like, come to you. You've got to be receptive to it. Divine Feminines, that's like a little message for you. But in terms of Divine Masculine, you're going to be creating things very, very quickly for yourselves. You're going to be making the changes with regards to this relationship. You're going to be I'm getting taking control of your own lives, of your own emotional lives, of your emotions, of your emotional lives, and of the circumstances as well. You're going to be creating the changes that you want to see. The key to doing that is the sooner you learn to do what the advice card is suggesting that you do. Challenges for you right now, Page of Cups. Again, this is an intuitive reading. Right now I'm pretty sure that there is a, check what planets are in Pisces in your own chart, and also there's a retrograde planet in Pisces at the moment, I'm pretty sure, or perhaps it's Neptune in Pisces. There is, oh, I wish that I had the astrological knowledge to my hand right now. The challenges are very, very Piscean challenges though. That's the main message. What you need to look at are, where are you being excessively passive and needlessly fearful, and also where are you being too much of a dreamer, living in your head and not actually acting? Where are you being, where is there inertia? Those are the areas where the challenges lie. So really, really challenge yourself to not be passive, be more active, be more proactive. Don't just take things, don't just expect things to happen, divine masculine, that you have to do it. Don't get overly emotional, and don't get overly, what's the word? Lost in your thoughts, where you lose touch with reality. You know, like, your thoughts make your reality, but your thoughts are not your reality. Like, physical, practical, don't be a dreamer, don't assume that you know things with regards to other people. Like, be authentic. This is a card of truth here. You have to speak your truth, you have to ask questions where you don't know the truth. You have to find things out, and you have to come up with practical solutions. Don't just assume. Do not assume. Don't assume the worst, especially. So the more you do that, the less heartbreak you'll find, and the more you'll be able to, you know, be where you want to be. Don't worry, you are exactly where you have to be at the moment, but just know that you're headed in the right direction. This is a very good omen. Things are going to transform for you very quickly. And try and focus on the good aspects of Pisces, which is, you know, very much unconditional love, of service, of giving. That's what you need to focus on. So give. What have you been doing well? I love this card. This is my favourite card in the reading. It's the Five of Cups upside down, and the big message that comes through with this, divine masculine, well done so much. You've been letting go of the karmic partner. That's what you've been letting go of. For so long, you kind of just didn't, you know, you were clinging on to these 3 cups that were just spilled and kicked over, knocked over, and completely empty, complete lost cause. And then you had all this other stuff going on for you, but you turned your back to it. That's all out of the door now. That's completely out of the picture. You've let go of all of those energies of the karmic partner, of pessimism, of you know, not of turning away from things that were good for you, that were available, and now you're ready to receive what these cups have to give you, basically. And again, I'm drawn to this number 2, these 2 things here. Number 2, it's number 2, it's very much not shitty at all. It's very much kind of it's to do with the divine counterparts. So very, very good stuff here. And I'm being, you know, inspired to tell you that it's very much about turning away from kind of the multiple kind of karmic partners that there are. And this could also be kind of like the old family unit. It's not about that anymore. It's not about the old, you know, if your divine counterpart has children or anything with with a previous partner, they're not going to be the focus anymore, because now it's all going to be, the focus is going to be on the divine counterpart, and rightly so. That's the kind of time that we're coming into at the moment. So it's all go, go, go towards the twin flame dynamic. That is a very general reading, and the potential is there for it. And I have prayed that each one of you watching this will be able to garner something from one important message, at least, because it is a general reading from this. So you know, blessed be with that. Let me talk about this really quickly. So the card that was at the bottom was the Justice card, and again you can see the man here has, the king has parallels here with the Hierophant, except he has a sword, and there's coming into balance here. What this sword represents is mentally the divine masculine is cutting away with great force and vigor and enthusiasm all the things that don't serve him anymore. And if you play, you know, your cards right, divine masculine, you'll be cutting away the swords that actually bind you mentally with regards to the twin flame, what you think about the twin flame union right now as well. If you're a little bit heartbroken about love, get rid of that as well, because it's all illusions in your head. And come into balance, really come into balance. Now this card, when I was dealing, got moved to the side, revealing the Seven of Wands. And what I'm drawn to say about this is that this is the divine masculine here, and he's actually winning. He's actually kind of overcoming, I'll show you the card quickly, he's actually kind of overcoming all his kind of, I don't want to say enemies, but all the challenges, and it might actually be enemies as well. And look, there's the Ace of Cups underneath, unconditional love. So that's all beautiful stuff. So it's just that's just to show, that's just a message to show that the divine masculine is doing so much, and he's manifesting the things that he wants. He's actually doing it already. He's come so far. He's already on higher ground, and he's beating down all his kind of challenges. And the other card that kind of jumped out twice as I was shuffling actually is this Queen of Pentacles, and I've been drawn to kind of tell you that this is how he kind of sees the divine feminine. This is kind of like how he sees the divine feminine, kind of like as an, almost like as a stabilizing, nurturing, very abundant, fertile, beautiful, quite inspiring figure. And also this is what she represents in the this is almost like an earthly feminine archetype, for an ideal kind of idealized feminine power. She's very soft, she's quite subdued and almost quite coy, but very graceful, very beautiful, and that's kind of like what the divine masculine kind of needs. And there is that, or maybe it's just symbolic of an energy that's going on right now, because there is a very motherly kind of energy as well, kind of going round, and it's what the divine masculine really needs at the moment. So yeah, more of that to the divine masculine would be really helpful, I think. So that is your reading. I hope it's been helpful. Overall, really positive stuff. So divine masculine, carry on thinking about, you know, union and relationships. Get over that heartbreak. Really kind of give. Be as truthful as possible. You know, we know that you're moving forward, and don't get confused with what's real and what's not. Be really practical, and don't, you know, you're not being passive. If you have any kind of passive tendencies in you right now, ignore them, and what you should really be going for is like proactive kind of action. So well done you. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Speak to you soon.